Hello, I'm Toby, and I wanted to give a very brief demonstration of my digital implementation of the board game Battalion War of the Ancients. So I've already started it, and the first thing I have to say, um, obviously this is a prototype. The art is, well, not good, and the UI in general is not good. And yeah, like you have to ignore that. Just imagine it would look better and it wouldn't be as clunky as it is sometimes. Um, yeah. So you can select a level at the beginning. I only have two levels at the moment. So both of them are at Greco-Bactria against the Roman Republic. Um, so the game internally kind of thinks those are the only nations at the moment. Um, which is mostly due to the fact which cards I have implemented. Um, right. So I mean, I can like switch the battle here. They are kind of the same. I just copied the first one and changed it a bit around. And I can also like switch the sides. I can like choose which side I actually am. So I'm the bottom side. I hope this is obvious. It probably isn't. Sorry. So I'm the bottom side. Let's just choose Cracobactria for now. Like I already said, um, the UI is not really done yet. Um, this means several things. So first of all, yeah, like some stuff is just not uh, really like layouted correctly. Like this thing here says companion cavalry, but I mean it, right? It goes into the other icon in here. Also, I just have one. I have one very low resolution image for each troop type. So I have one image for infantry, one image for cavalry, one for archers and any sort of skirmishers combined, and for elephants and stuff, right? Um, so I just didn't bother making more, or I mean making more, copying more from the rulebook. Um, right, I do have the cards down here. I mean, I can highlight them. And so, oh, so yeah, like I was in the middle of a sentence. I'm sorry. Uh, so the art is missing, but it's also like kind of the layouting of the stuff and like the animations. Some of the things are doing and like visual artifacts when stuff overlaps. So that's all not done yet. It's all functional, so you can use everything, but sometimes it's a bit annoying. So I really only want to talk about it briefly because otherwise I will like talk for an hour and it's super boring. Um, I just assume you kind of know how the game works, so probably if you know that, then everything you see here is hopefully kind of obvious. So you have your hand cards, you have the units uh, in left flank and right flank and in the middle. Here's your deck. There's your order and disorder. The same for the opponent. And at the moment, I'm in the redeployment phase. And again, it's kind of missing a bit of a UI hint that I'm in the redeployment phase. It does say end redeployment. This, by the way, is a button which also might not be obvious. So this is a button. It doesn't have any highlight when highlighting it or when focusing it. Right. So I'm in the redeployment phase, so I can like select the unit, and then I'll get an awfully looking arrow where I can just say, okay, move to the middle, and now I have to throw a card away. So I've just chosen one. Again, you saw one of the cards just froze when I did that. Okay, so let's just continue and ignore the UI troubles I have. So I can now order any unit here. So let's just select this one, and I mean, so I could, like, this one says barrage or charge, but this one, for example, just charge because it doesn't have any skirmisher in here. So I charge with that unit, and the opponent will now react. The AI, wait, let's just look at the UI for that, and then I'll talk about the UI. So I have to assign my hits here. Again, the UI is not done yet. It kind of looks a bit bad. So this one says, hey, I've got 2 hits, and I have accounted for 0 of them at the moment, which results in 2 disorders. I could also choose to kill one of my persons. Well, actually not kill, I think they just run away. And this would now actually cancel 3 of the 2 hits, and therefore I would get no disorder. But let's just say, okay, I get the disorder. And as you saw, that UI totally blocked out the actual results of the dice rolling, which was quite bad, but it it was enough for me to be able to do what I wanted to do, which was assigning the hit points, but yeah, it was still a bit bad. So let's attack these guys here, and I could, like, select the card to get more dice. Now I've had 4 hits with 4 dice, which was obviously very good, and the opponent, like, had no dice, no hits in return. Okay. So I wanted to talk a bit about the AI. So the AI uses Monte Carlo tree search, which is a very common AI technique. So it essentially means you kind of just simulate the game over and over and over and over. At the moment, this is set to 10,000 times. And so you just play 10,000 random games. So like, every time you do a move, you just do a random move. This is not quite correct, right? So some of the moves are random, but others are not. But in general, you play random games. And then after 10,000 games, you just check which of my moves is the one that's resulting in a win most of the times, and then you take that. And this is what the AI does. It kind of ignores the cards. So in its turn, it knows what is in its hand. So I have these hand cards, I can play them for their effect. But when simulating the game, for every card they draw or I draw, they don't know what's on there. And like, when I'm playing the game, I at least think about, like, oh, they could draw this card, or I could draw this card, and this would be super helpful. But the AI will just assume the card is empty, so it doesn't have any effect. Right. However, the AI is already, like, killing me every time. I've never won a game against it. So I see no reason why I should make the AI even stronger. So I already should make it weaker. So I just keep it like that. We can just take a little look at it here. So this is just like startup logging stuff. Let's just ignore that. So starting from here, so the first reaction they did on my charging elephant, they had all these different actions. And what is a bit counterintuitive about those printouts is they are always ordered in a way where the top action is what is the best action for player 0, but I am player 0, so the best action for them is actually the bottom action. So in that said, hey, you should do reaction fire from unit number 4, whatever unit number 4 is. I mean, I know what it is. It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's this unit. yeah, that's what they did. Then you can see, hey, okay, you could also like countercharge with any of the other units. You could just do nothing, or you could even do a prepared countercharge. So they had the prepared card in their hand, which means they can countercharge, but they act beforehand. Um, this is constantly worse in this case, probably because both sides would put like disorder on the units anyway, so it doesn't matter who's attacking first or last. Um, they could also have countercharged with their archer, which would obviously have been the worst idea they could have done. So that's why it's the last action in here, right? And so you see that for all the other actions. So like, how many support cards do you want to play? So support cards is my term for how many cards do you want to sacrifice for extra dice. Um, then there's other things like where they actually uh, like did not have any option. So like, do you want to play veteran troops or what is the other one? Rain of Arrows. They didn't have that in their hand, so they couldn't do that. Do you want to play fallback, which they also didn't have in their hand? And then the question, how do they want to assign the hit dice and stuff, right? So the worst thing they could have done was killing two persons, and they also could have just killed one person. Um, I think it's funny that they rather did not play Steadfast instead of Steadfast. I mean, at one point, it's getting a bit wonky. Like, theoretically, this type of algorithm is perfect if you play an infinite amount of games. But given that you don't play an infinite amount of games, um, right, these are like half a percent, have half a percent difference. So probably they're wrongly ordered. I don't know. So yeah, this is essentially how the game plays. I mean, we can't just wait until the uh, AI does stuff. So you saw that there was a little freeze frame of the Roman Republic label when it vanished. This was the time the AI needed to actually think. So this is a bit of a mistake of my programming at the moment. The AI will not start thinking until the animation is over. So it animates, and then afterwards it tells you, hey, it's your turn now. You can start thinking, and then the game will freeze for a bit, and then it's my turn back. Um, so obviously it would be better if the AI would start thinking earlier, but I haven't implemented it right. So this extra thing here, this wasn't here before. This basically means, do I want to play a steadfast? Uh, right. So instead of getting a disorder, I could also just play an order, which means it will be more expensive, maybe later on activating this unit. But in general, it's the better thing to do, so I just do it. And right, it's back to my turn again. So this is essentially how the game looks like. Um, I don't know. I didn't mention that I've actually written down what I have to say or what I want to say. I maybe it was obvious from what you saw. This thing does not use any sort of game engine. It's completely custom written because that's just what I like to do. Right. So the game does not have a level editor at the moment. Um, Mostly because I was lazy. It wouldn't be very difficult. It would be maybe a bit difficult making the level editor look nice, or battle editor. So I didn't do it. At the moment, I essentially just have text files. So those are not actually like code. This is actually a text file that gets read by the program and then convert to data. Um, right, so this is like, hey, these are all the units for the Greco-Bactrian kingdom, and I have this like such a file for each kingdom or for each nation, whatever you want to call them. And then I have one file for each battle, which just says, hey, these are the two nations, and then it lists all the units of one side and then all the units of the other side, right? And there's a new line um, for each sector separation. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, so you could already like make your own levels or battles, whatever, and send them around if you wanted to. Um, right. So the only thing I have left to show, okay, right, for that I have to switch the screen. So this is my OBS, which is open in the background. Um, I just need a few seconds. Hello, I think it would work. Um, Perfect. So I had to switch the screen because this screen is bigger. So one other thing I don't have because I'm not using an engine is I don't have any code that actually cares about your screen resolution. So I just picked the most common one, and this is the resolution of the game now at the moment. So I can't really make it bigger or smaller. Um, so yeah, my other screen is bigger, and so I can kind of show two windows simultaneously. So what I'm doing here is I have started the game twice now. I had to recompile it to basically say, hey, this is now online mode. And say one of them basically says, hey, I start a server. And this is now listening for someone to connect. And here I just, well, this is like the local IP address. And now I said, hey, I want to connect to that. And now I have two instances of the game that are connected with each other. So like this one says, hey, I'm waiting for the opponent redeploying. Well, and this one is the opponent redeploying. And right, I can do stuff here now, and I don't know, I can, wait, I want you to see that, obviously. Right, so you see here's the war elephant, this is this war elephant, so I moved that here, and now, right, I sacrifice the card, and the elephant moves around. So I've actually tested it with someone online, and it works perfectly, like there's no problem in there. Um, sorry. So the only issue here is it needs, at the moment, it needs like a specific IP address, like or like I have to tell the thing like what's the IP address of the other person, which obviously you wouldn't do with random strangers. And it's also you can't just pick the IP address of someone else. That's not how the internet works. Um, you can only get the IP address of like their router. Um, I've looked into like the Steam multiplayer stuff, but I didn't bother actually doing anything with it yet because like for testing it you need two Steam accounts, and to run two Steam accounts you actually need two machines, or like one of them has to run a virtual machine or whatever. So I didn't actually care about looking further into it for the moment. But in general, the game already is in a way where you can do multiplayer because like this here is doing it. Right. So that's basically everything I have at the moment. Um, Again, the biggest the biggest thing that is missing at the moment is better UI and graphics and cooler animations. Maybe yeah, like other stuff you could add is like, I don't know, just fixed battles. So like these are 5 battles of Alexander the Great, and these are 5 battles of, I don't know, Julius Caesar or whatever. I mean, you could have something like that. but that's essentially just, hey, you need 20 battles and an extra menu that puts them cool together, and that's about it. Yeah, so I have talked for way too long. Again, I guess I got 20 minutes. Um, I hope you liked that demonstration of my implementation. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching or for listening. Bye.